Starfleet Academy is taking Star Trek to new lows.
We're looking at a dead franchise here.
I can't believe how bad it's gotten.
You would think this is a joke, a parody.
Out!
And there are plenty out there letting the world know about it.
Watching this made me angry.
It was terrible.
I watch birds.
It's not real. It's not real.
Starfleet Academy has been absolutely abysmal.
Cancel this show right now.
It's just a bankrupt show on every creative level.
Like an origami chicken.
This is nonsense, written by idiots.
I take no joy in watching it go down in flames.
Release the drones!
But that criticism is sparking its own counter backlash, led by franchise veterans like Robert Picardo and fans who like this era of Trek. Take this article, calling out so-called dude bros like Nerdrotic and The Critical Drinker. The argument? These guys aren't real Star Trek fans. Now, the writer of the article claims the Star Trek franchise was never for them, and they've missed the point of what Gene Roddenberry was doing. Apparently, from the start of Star Trek way back when, 60 years ago to be exact, the series set out to do one thing: change the world. Now, the article gets into other criticisms of these so-called dude bros, but there's one thing it doesn't seem to address, which is one of the main problems so many have had with the new show. The storytelling is awful.
They screwed up so much stuff in this show.
Example.
Well, here are just a few of the problems with the first episode. It's the 32nd century, and Starfleet Academy is reopening after being shut down for over 100 years. And instead of being fully based on Earth, the school's main campus is in a starship that will spend time traveling the galaxy, taking part in crucial missions for the Federation, which means the Federation will be putting its so-called best and brightest students, the people meant to be the future of Starfleet, in danger out in the galaxy on a regular basis. And it actually doesn't take long for things to go wrong, as the ship is attacked on its first day in action. And for some reason, it's the students who need to step up and save the day, instead of the established crew on the ship.
All the people in charge of the ship sit on the bridge and don't do anything. They don't come up with any solutions.
Why are you basing your academy in a starship to seemingly be manned by untrained teenagers with what appears to be minimal supervision?
What is happening?
My favorite part is when they couldn't get medics to people because the holo emitters didn't work, which tells you that they've given science and health completely over to AI.
It's also worth mentioning that one of the new cadets is a hologram.
Why does a hologram need to go to a school to learn things? You stole food, Mom. How do they have a food shortage? Where did the replicators go?
I guess we're blaming the burn for that.
Now, the burn, for those who missed it in Star Trek Discovery, was a galaxy-wide catastrophe that meant the collapse of interstellar space travel and fractured the Federation for over a century. In short, the burn was used to justify a major reset of the Star Trek universe.
That's why everything seems so un-Star Trek-like, because it was designed to be that way.
So essentially, it's an excuse for any changes they make. But the bad storytelling and dialogue didn't stop with Episode 1. In Episode 2, the Chancellor of the Academy and ship's captain, played by Holly Hunter, is taking part in diplomatic negotiations involving the president of the planet Betazed, and she wants her students present at the negotiations, saying children are our ambassadors to now.
The children are the ambassadors of tomorrow!
Later in the episode, one of those children, Caleb, takes his new Betazoid lady friend, Tarima, who is from a non-Federation planet, to a Federation stellar cartography room on Earth. But she's simply able to wave her hand and gain access to the Federation computer system.
Why did the Starfleet technology allow it to interface? Where were the security protocols?
Whenever you notice something like that, a wizard did it.
Magical bullshit. Gotcha.
So how does all this bad writing happen? Well, one of the ways to explain it is those making the show don't care enough about the storytelling, so long as they can promote their political messages. And the man who's been in charge of the franchise for the past several years, Alex Kurtzman, seems to be completely in line with this.
Kurtzman realizes that Star Trek has no identity under his regime because all he wants to waffle on about is his current day issues.
It was the Q&A with Alex Kurtzman when he just straight up said, we are using Star Trek as a platform.
Black Lives Matter, the NAACP. The goal is not really to promote Star Trek, but to promote these organizations and to use our platform to be able to bring greater awareness to these very, very important messages and places.
They really don't care if things look stupid or awkward or contradict something in the lore, so long as it feeds the agenda or checks a box.
And this is where the article claiming the sole purpose of Star Trek was to change the world fits in with modern-day Trek. The social issues they deem important are all that really matter. So who cares about consistent storytelling?
For example, short female XO is a Jem'Hadar Klingon hybrid. Jem'Hadar, the genetically engineered race infamous for having no females.
There are no Jem'Hadar women.
Because the people who are writing it have no clue about structure in general. Never mind they've got no clue about science fiction and how that truly works.
All the characters seem to just be diversity checkboxes, probably because they're written by diversity checkboxes. Everyone seems fat or gay or mentally handicapped in some way.
They hired all these women's romance show writers to write these things who really don't have a lot of science fiction background. I mean, there's your problem, guys. It stems directly from that.
The dialogue, that it feels like it was written by aging boomers that are trying to hang with the cool Gen Z kids.
Do you find it challenging to be a war college douchebag?
And things don't get any better, as episode 4 starts off with the Chancellor/Captain trying to sound profound.
She was talking about the nebula, and it's like, it can't be here in its present without every moment of its past.
Who is writing this? The one where this nebula is a collection of atoms. It's like, so are planets, so is the ship that you're standing on.
And the bad writing quickly continued in the second minute of the episode, butchering a quote from the TNG episode, The Drumhead. The line in that episode was delivered by Captain Picard during a trial, quoting Judge Aaron Satie. Picard says, "With the first link, the chain is forged. The first speech censured, the first thought forbidden, the first freedom denied, chains us all irrevocably." In Starfleet Academy, the line is quoted by the Doctor, but he says, "With the first link, the chain is forged. The first speech censured, the first thought forbidden, us all irrevocably."
How did they butcher that quote so badly?
The reason I'm laughing is because it doesn't make any sense.
Us all irrevocably on its own doesn't make any sense as a sentence.
How does that pass 21 producers, 5 editors, 2 people shooting on the screen, a director, a team of writers, QC? How does that happen?
As the episode continues, we find out more about the situation the Klingons are in. It seems their homeworld was devastated by an environmental collapse years earlier. Those that remain of the Klingon race are living a nomadic life, often moving around as refugees. The Federation is stepping in to help the Klingons by offering them a new planet they can call home. But the Klingons refuse the offer out of a sense of Klingon pride, and this raises multiple story questions.
Why would the Klingons refuse to accept a world from the Federation when they themselves are currently, quote, going from refugee camp to refugee camp?
Now the other issue is we were told only the Klingon homeworld was uninhabitable, but aren't these the same Klingons who ran an empire that must have had hundreds of other planets under their control?
It was an empire. They had hundreds, if not thousands of worlds.
Yeah.
They wouldn't need to be refugees into a Federation or anywhere else.
And if that's not enough, the way this situation is resolved is by the Federation and the Klingons having a fake battle over the planet the Federation offered them, with the Klingons winning. Because of this pretend victory, they're willing to accept the planet. But both sides know this battle was pretend. If the Klingons are too proud to take a handout, why are they not too proud to participate in a fake scripted fight? In traditional Klingon culture, wouldn't a scripted victory be hollow and without honor? Wouldn't there be more honor in simply negotiating a treaty?
I think this charade has gone far enough.
And with all these complaints and criticisms, Robert Picardo has been stepping forward to defend the new show. He said, "Every new Star Trek series was criticized by some fans at the outset, and every one was later judged by fans to hit its stride later in their run." Now, I think what Picardo is saying is, in part, true. But with Starfleet Academy, it's just so bad it's hard to imagine it could turn itself around. The most entertaining thing to come out of Starfleet Academy isn't the show itself, but the relentless wave of reviews tearing it to pieces.
Don't let any more come out. And you might have an infinitesimal chance of turning this thing around if you sit on it for 10 years.